Dallas Cowboys have signed defensive end Michael Sam to their practice squad. Mike Fisher joining us from 105.3 The Fan, the home of the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. Fish, thanks for being here, man. Is the Dallas Cowboys organization the best team in the NFL for Michael Sam to have a chance to make the team?
Well, we probably should start by understanding what I think most football fans do get, that he's not really making the team.
Right.
This is first of all, it's a glorious story. And I think most people, most enlightened people understand that. But this is also a glorified tryout. There's no contract here. There's no obligation here. They could release Michael Sam tomorrow. And if they find a defensive end on the street over at Home Depot who's better, they will. So do the Cowboys need pass rush help? Absolutely. Does this organization know how to deal with the media circus? You bet. Jason Garrett's handling of the media today was just brilliant. He was his usual robotic self. He could not be goaded into controversy. He could not be drawn off sides anyway. Jerry, I believe, is out of town today, so that probably helped. And then Michael Sam, Tony Romo, Des Bryant, and the rest, they handled it all well. I'm even told that he was just fine on the practice field today, that he actually looked like a real live football player and not just a guy in a clown suit meant to help the Cowboys with marketing. So this is one tiny, tiny step towards a guy maybe earning a weekly paycheck on the practice squad.
Now, we heard reports that Jerry Jones called the team leaders, let them know the situation. Is there any chance of the locker room not accepting Sam if he is called up to the big league?
And first of all, I'm the guy that reported that first, that Jerry called multiple guys.
Yeah!
Get it, Fish.
Go Fish, baby!
That's right.
At Fish Sports on Twitter.
That's right. Fish Sports on Twitter. But then it got misconstrued into, like Jerry was calling, asking for permission. And I know that he called Des Bryant. I know that he called Anthony Spencer. I know he called Barry Church. I'm assuming Tony Romo was among the people he called too. And listen, they're not running a frat house here. We're not taking a vote to see who we're going to allow into the house. This was Jerry Jones calling those people, alerting them to what he wanted to do and what he was planning on doing. And by the way, Jerry at some point must have alerted the scouting department too, because the scouting department has never been fond of Michael Sam as a football player. They have never given him a passing grade, a draft-worthy grade, and that hasn't changed. So there's something going on here that's beyond just, hey, let's go straight off our board and straight off our grades. And if it's only the most innocent thing, which is the Joneses saying to the scouting department, listen, what could it hurt? What could it hurt to give him jersey number 46 for a week and see what he's got? Then, again, I applaud that. I sense that there's something a little bit more to it than that.
Mike Fisher of 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Fish, we talked all offseason about how the St. Louis Rams were stacked at defensive end. What is the depth like for the Dallas Cowboys and the chances of Michael Sam actually diving into that depth?
Yeah, they have guys ranked above Michael Sam, who are on the practice squad or more frequently, more notably, I guess, on the active roster. George Selvey, guys like Selvey and Mincy are going to start, and most people have never heard of them.
No.
And guys named Boatwright and a guy with a British accent named Jack Crawford, they're now hanging around here. So, and Anthony Spencer is coming off microfracture knee surgery. He's been out a year, but he might be back in a month. So there's no limit to the number of defensive end questions that this team has. I think it's putting too much on the Cowboys because this isn't their intention, and I think it's putting too much on Michael Sam to say, okay, go be better than George Selvey, because he's not.
What's the vibe? Another defensive player that's looking to return to the league. What's the vibe around Josh Brent? Now going to serve a 10-game suspension, but appeal that. What's the vibe with him and the Cowboys organization?
Yeah, this organization has stayed bonded with him throughout this whole process, which I think in his life he probably needed. Forgetting football, in his life he probably needed the friendships that he has from being with the Cowboys. Now, his drunken driving accident in which he killed his best friend. His best friend was killed with Josh behind the wheel. That's Jerry Brown Jr. That's a tragedy. I don't know that any amount of punishment would have been enough. And so I keep arguing when people debate about the NFL commissioner's 10-game suspension here, too much, too little. Hey, had they given him a 1,000-game suspension, I wouldn't have argued. And I know that it's Josh Brent's agent/attorney's job to argue it, and he is doing that. Peter Schaefer is trying to appeal the ruling. I think Josh Brent's focus should be take your medicine and be lucky you're alive.
Man, I'm right there with you. Does it tarnish? I mean, Fish, I look at Josh Brent and the way he's handling it and the way he's appealing it. Why? I mean, to me, it kind of tarnishes his comeback a little bit as to, really, now you want to fight this? Like, you don't think you deserve this anymore?
Yeah, one of the problems, of course, in pro sports is you're appealing to the judge that just handed down the ruling. So imagine you're in a courtroom and the judge says, okay, that's a $50 fine for speeding, and you walk out of the court, out the front door, then come back to the back door, sit down in front of him again and say, I don't want to pay $50. How much can I pay now? Well, the judge just hits the gavel and makes you pay your $50. So I really just think it's almost a by rote action by the legal world, and Josh Brent would probably be wise to not say anything and let his agent take the heat for doing something that attorneys do, but maybe humans shouldn't.
Fish, we just saw the Sporting News put out a list this week of ranking all the NFL GMs, and they ranked Jerry Jones as the worst GM in the NFL. He's not the worst, right?
Well, they go 8-8. So first of all, and as Armen knows, I'm a Jerry guy, not Jerry the GM guy. I'm just a Jerry the guy. But surely somebody who goes 5-11 is worse than somebody who goes 8-8, or no?
Makes sense to me.
It makes sense to me too. I would also try to help. And again, if you're only the most casual football fan, you really don't get this and never will. But what if Jerry's the GM in title only? What if his son Steven's the general manager? And what if the guy who's got the title of assistant personnel director, Will McClay, what if he's actually the assistant vice president? And what if Jason Garrett is actually the assistant vice president? I think they will get so wrapped up in Jerry's incredibly high profile, which he loves, by the way. He loves having a high profile, that they really don't understand how the organization works. The Michael Sam thing has Jerry's fingerprints all over it. But if you ask Jerry, hey, what do you think of that Joe Blow on the practice squad? He doesn't know who Joe Blow is on the practice squad. That's not his department. And so Jerry Jones, the old line is Jerry Jones, the owner, is incredible. Jerry Jones, the general manager, is terrible. In fact, Jerry Jones, the general manager, is in name more than reality, and isn't terrible. He's 8-8.
He's Mike Fisher of 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, the home of Dallas Cowboys football and Fish. I got to go home for the weekend and see some of my closest friends only. You were on that list. We hung out at a pool party, drank some beers together, and I came back and I realized that New York I've really saturated myself around New York sports and this environment, and there were things that stuck out to me, Fish, as a born and raised Dallas guy that I'd never noticed before. So all day today at 25 after the hour, I'm giving my top 5 list. I'm giving another one off the list of the top 5 things that I saw in Texas that I've never seen in New York, okay?
Yes.
So I want you to react as I give these. Number 5, I saw a T. Boone Pickens wing at my dad's work. An entire wing was dedicated to T. Boone Pickens, and I had to explain to Levack and the listeners who T. Boone Pickens was. And if you don't know, Google it. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, he's a warm-hearted Donald Trump.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4, an entire wall of NRA hats at the feed store.
They don't have that in Albany, New York. Huh?
Not that I've seen yet.
I was surprised they were still on the shelf.
All right,
I tell you what, I bet you if you go up to Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, I bet you find that, but maybe not across your street.
Well, the funny thing is that out of the two of us, I'm the gun owner and Armen's not.
Levack, I went to number 3. I went to my brother. He lives in the small town called Granbury. I went to the Granbury Town Festival, and in the middle of it, there was a large open RV and had a banner on the side of it that said prayer tent.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah, there you go. All right, number 2, here we go. Here's my number 2. there was an invitation to a diaper party on my brother's fridge, and under what to bring, it said, quote, bring diapers for Michael, bring shotgun, shells, and clays for yourself.
If you're hanging around the diaper and shotgun crowd, you're hanging around the wrong crowd no matter what state you're in.
Well, and that's why it was on my brother's fridge, right?
Yeah, babies and shotguns don't seem to be a good mix, but what do I know?
Yeah, what do you know? Mike Fisher, you know
I'm
a lot
glad
about
you
the
specified
Cowboys.
it was a baby diaper. I was getting really concerned.
Hey, Fish, thanks for your time, man. We'll talk soon.
Was that 4 or is there a 5th?
Oh, I'm giving another one, but you got to wait till 6:20.
Oh, okay. I'll be listening.
All right, wait for an hour.
All right, boys.
Good talk.
Thanks,
See you out there.
Fish.
Thanks, Fish.